These fine folks claim that their toilet is haunted. It's so funny. You're looking at top 18 scary short stories that'll make you go haha. Number 1. Do your neighbors ever do this? If you have neighbors, watch this, cause this is really creepy. A TikToker posted a video of their neighbors doing something unusual. She was out one night taking a walk, but after a while when she reached back home and looked at their neighbor's window, she noticed something odd about them. Looking closely through the window, she saw them doing this.
They're inviting you over for dinner.
And I'm the food they'll be serving, so I'll pass. Number 2. This is why you shouldn't communicate with the dead. This man recently lost his father. Stricken with sadness, he tried to communicate with his late father at his grave, but seeing no result, he felt even more sad. Totally unbeknownst that he invited something sinister into his house. That even scared me. One night, a strange sound was heard coming from his kitchen. Worried about these instances, he began praying, hoping whatever that was would go away and will leave him alone. On the very next day, the thing decided to declare its presence and show itself, saying, "It is I, a black dress, a spirit."
That thing's got style.
Ghost strip.
Number 3.
Can you guess what they're doing? These fine folks claim that their toilet is haunted. So to demonstrate, they planted a camera hoping to capture the ghost in the act. Now, I didn't believe them at first. I was like, who's behind that shower curtain? But then they showed me this compelling footage. I believe them now.
The toilet is so tiny.
Yeah, they kind of blew their budget on the automatic door.
Makes sense.
Numero 4. Would you ever do this with your coworkers?
How did you not see that? Oh, okay.
It was a pretty late night. They were working night shift when they decided to take a break and go explore the less visited part of the hospital, knowing the risk that they might pee their pants. Still, they went in when it was completely dark, because why bother turn on the lights? But as they were walking in, they felt someone else's presence.
All it takes is a flying painkiller these days to scare a human.
So Joel, this is why bathing outdoor is dangerous. Look at what they found near the river. I bet some of you didn't catch that. Look closely. That is indeed a mummy straight out of a museum. It's a little too much foundation. They were swimming in a shallow river while making a video, doing people stuff. That's when they encountered this dehydrated shrimp, a creepy figure, stalking boldly. What would you do in this position? Do tell. Number 2. Can ghosts and jinns be friendly? A video was captured that features a man being followed by another man that's been acting kinda sus. When the road was empty, he jumped him, trying to steal his belonging. That's when something unexpected happened. A grainy, shadowy figure was seen emerging from his body, pushing the person who was trying to mug the poor fella out of the way. After seeing the figure, the perpetrator skedaddled.
Jinns are not allowed to dabble in human affairs. We have rules.
Which this jinn apparently doesn't follow. No more de jeu. If you hear a cat meowing at midnight at your front door, do not go and look for it. A family from Mexico did exactly that. The family's from a certain part of Mexico where there's an industry for witchcraft. So one day, after returning from a sketchy place, they heard something rustling at their front door. Out of curiosity, they decided to go and have a look, immediately spotting this. That is not a cat, that's a floating head, pretending to be a cat. After witnessing that terrifying sight, they called the Ghostbusters. Cops, and they hid by locking the doors. After informing the police, they opened the door once more to inspect, and that's when they encountered this terrifying apparition, throwing
¿Quién chingados eres? ¿Quién te mandó?
stools. Why?
That's violent.
Yeah, he didn't need to throw that stool thingy. Hachiban.
Telling you right now, that mother is not real.
Something terrifying took place on an American Airlines flight. A video of this woman who claims to have seen a weird-looking presence on a plane that was about to take off went viral. She was yelling,
I'm getting the fuck off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the fuck off.
and people are assuming that it's a shapeshifter, and the rest of the netizens are calling her Karen.
But it could be a jinn.
Is there no Muslim on board? Activate Ayatul Kursi. The panic in her eyes and her profanities doesn't make it look or feel like it's a lie. Something supernatural could be taking place on this plane. Tickets are expensive. No one with a sound mind would want to waste a plane ticket. She wasn't even filming, so it was not for content.
So what could be causing her to act such a way?
Number 9. Look at what he does with that egg. My boy's holding a smudge stick. You know the stuff we use to repel evil entities? Yeah, it's that. He planted an egg egg in the middle of the room before casting a spell. But it backfired, and this made the entity even more mad, so it began moving objects in the room. First the lamp, and then this tiny thingy on the wall. That looks cursed. When he was done smudging, he picked up the egg to crack it open, and to his surprise, it came out black. Allahu Akbar.
Chocolate egg.
You stop. Number thus. If you have a basement in your house, be very careful. He heard a loud shriek coming from his basement. When he heard this, he was home alone. Shocked, but also composed, he calmly grabbed a knife hoping he would get to stab a ghost or two. Sadly, when he reached downstairs, he found the room empty. So he set up traps and left the house. The next day, he finds out, indeed, he was right, they weren't alone. The traps were triggered, which made him more worried. Naturally, he wanted answers, so he set up some cameras. The cameras, however, captured some questionable footage in which the dog keeps pacing back and forth, growling at something, and the camera keeps getting blurry. Meanwhile, a ghost seems to be practicing her screams every once in a while. To this day, they can't pinpoint who or what was causing all of this.
Hidden speakers.
Number 11. What these ghost hunters saw will shock you. These brave Ghostbusters went on a little thrill-seeking adventure in the middle of what seems to be a rice field to do some investigation. After doing a little bit of snooping around, they began hearing things rustling in the dark and objects moving on their own. Real spooky. But still not satisfied, they decided to head towards that rundown shack. That's when one of them went, I saw something black taking a peek through that window. It has an ugly face. Bangla commentary is hilarious. They tried to open the door anyway, but they got a little hinting, don't come in, you called me ugly. They ignored the warning and tried to open the door. But to their surprise, the foliage that was poking through the roof started doing cha-cha-cha. So they got scared and made a run for it. After reaching a safe distance, they heard some kind of drum rehearsal. A creepy one. Curious, they went back, and that's when this happened. I have nothing to comment on this. Maybe they're eating hay. Despite everything, they went in. Got pulled in.
Perhaps the ghost was feeling lonely.
Number 12. When you hear a noise coming from your kitchen, be very cautious. A person on Reddit has been hearing some unexplainable noise coming from the kitchen. Turns out something terrifying has been practicing magic tricks on his kitchen utensils, making them disappear. Feeling frustrated, one night he decided to put up a camera in his kitchen, which captured this creepy figure. It looks to be a pale-looking figure lurking in the darkness. Lurk, lurk, lurk. After inspecting the footage, he got spooked and left to stay over his girlfriend's house. However, since these events never stopped, he decided to pack and leave. But while packing, he saw the same figure in the kitchen with a blank stare.
Maybe he's hungry.
Number 13. If the house is cheap, don't buy it. A young Japanese man was looking to rent a house. Sweeping through options, he came across a really sweet deal for a very cheap price, with one tiny twist. The owner died in the bathtub and his body was not found for a couple of days. He thought it was a steal and signed a 2-year contract. Soon after moving in, he began hearing strange knocks coming from the washroom. He ignored it, but one night, a faint noise pulled him out of his sleep. It was the sound of a weeping man. Which made him realize he wasn't alone and that he has a roommate. Petrified, he went outside to check, but found nothing. Man, I love Japan. Just look at the view.
And sushi.
Nah, raw fish. Ugh. Number 14. Would you take this road if you saw this? This video was uploaded to the internet where this person can be seen cruising down the neighborhood at night. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary at the beginning until he reached this part of the town where he saw a row of people standing. At first glance, they seemed like a bunch of spooky ghosts. Turns out they're a group of women praying Salah. Probably because there wasn't enough space to pray elsewhere. This video surfaced during Ramadan, so they're probably praying Tarawih, but on the road.
That's some dedication.
That's right, what's your excuse? Number 15. If you live next to a dense wood, watch out for this. On a fine evening, a person was sitting on his porch to wind down, when suddenly his dog started sprinting towards the wood, staring at what seems to be a gray-looking figure gliding in the darkness. His dog kept staring at the figure mindlessly without responding until it vanished into the woods. I think it's being shy. The guy who took the video has no clue what that might have been.
I don't like woods.
Neither do I. Number 16. When you hear someone on the roof, lock your doors. Don't come out. Don't leave the house. This man got woken up by a sound in the middle of the night which was coming from his roof. Disturbed and also curious, he went outside to look. At first, it seemed empty, like no one was there. But his curiosity got the best of him, so he looked around. But when he moved away from his house a fair amount, he saw this.
Oh, damn!
A person with glowing eyes. Oh, it also left him a present on the roof.
Aw, that's very thoughtful.
Need more ghosts like him.
Number 17.
Do your dogs act like this? A guy posted a video of his dog staring at something in the dark. They were out on a walk one night when, out of nowhere, his dog began having kind of a mental breakdown. Something was eyeballing them out of the darkness of the woods. It was a deer. Not an ordinary deer. The dog could be seen acting a little jumpy after seeing the deer. Allahu Akbar, that's a ghost. The doggo tried to mosey, but the deer kept staring at the dog intensely. After a good minute of stare down competition, something in the bush was heard rustling. The dog and the deer noticed something in the dark, which made the deer bail, leaving the two puzzled. 3, including me. 4, actually 5. Have you guys noticed the mirrors been acting strangely all over the world? Like, look at these. They're not supposed to do that. I think mine's broken. I've never seen them do this, even after saying Bloody Mary 3 times. Now, some people claim that mirrors are a gateway to a different world, which is kind of hard to explain. But what do you think? Could camera work? Or we live in a world that glitches out sometimes? Dark, why are you quiet today?
I don't like mirrors.
Oh, it's a Jin thing.
No, I just don't prefer them.
Subscribe or I will appear in your mirror. I wasn't lying. Now go watch this video.